For my project, I interviewed seniors in my life who I believe are truly beautiful and inspire me every day with their work ethic and passion for the causes they serve. For the first part of the video, I asked, what are you involved in?
Every Sunday since 5th grade, I've been serving at Willamette Christian Church in the twos classroom and just teaching the little kids like a little Sunday school, and we have snack and do the story and like play games and stuff.
I'm president of Westland United. Westland United is a club that is committed to promoting the celebration of diversity and the practice of inclusionary behavior within the school community. We host the annual Unity Day event at Westland High School. We're about to start our second year of it, and basically the day consists of student-led workshops that all have an underlying message of togetherness and community between students regardless of background, whether it be based off socioeconomic status, race, sexual orientation, anything that divides people. So regardless of any background barriers, it's a day committed to having students come together.
I volunteer at a youth crisis line every week on Wednesdays for 6 hours. Youth Line is a teen-to-teen crisis line, which I believe makes it so special. So that means teens reach out, so it's anyone up to like age 19 or 20, and then if they're older, it's not like we just hang up on them, we send them to the adult crisis lines. People reach out from anything to having a bad day, to suicidal ideation, self-harm, stuff like that. And so we, as volunteers, we answer calls, texts, chats, and emails. I'm a lead volunteer, so that means I stay the full time from 4 to 10, that's when we're open. And I take more serious calls, and then so I help mentor and just help in general newer volunteers that come in that are on my shift.
I'm a volunteer at Willamette Christian Church, and that's where I spend a lot of my time. I volunteer leading worship, so I lead worship on Sundays at the summit across the street from the church, and that's where the middle schoolers go. And I also lead worship sometimes for the high school services, once in a while at main services, and during the women's ministry sessions on Tuesdays as well. And I also lead a small group of middle schoolers every week at the summit on Sundays, and just kind of help them out and talk to them about pretty much everything.
So I volunteer through a lot of different organizations, but the main one I volunteer for is Autism Speaks. Do a lot of stuff for a lot of different things because they kind of branch out into everything that involves any sort of autism, whether it be trying to find a cure, trying to help families who just discover that their child has autism, and helping them develop as they grow up into young adults. A couple things that I've helped with is independently, I've worked with a group called Camp Yakadiak, which is just a camp for any special needs kids to come to and be around people who are more like them and a more safe environment compared to other summer camps. My family throws this thing called the White Party every year, where we raise as much money as we can for Autism Speak so they can use that money for whatever they deem necessary, because they helped us a lot when we found out that my little brother had autism. He was just a couple months old. And every year we've been doing it, we raise thousands of dollars. It's like a 225 person event. We host it at the golf club every year, and it's this big thing. My parents do a lot of fundraising. Me and my friends do fundraising on our own, and my brother and my sister's friends also do their own fundraising independently. And it's a really good environment for our whole family and everyone in the Autism Speaks community.
Hi, I ran for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society Student of the Year. Basically what Leukemia Lymphoma Society is, it's an organization that raises money, awareness, and does a ton of things for people with cancer, specifically lymphoma and leukemia. I ran for Student of the Year, which is basically the kid version of raising as much money during a campaign for 7 weeks. And I ran with Emily Fogg. And there's a Man and Woman of the Year, and there's a Student of the Year, and so we ran for Student of the Year, and we raised $60,000 in 7 weeks, and we ended up winning the campaign.
I volunteer with Multnomah County Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue, and pretty much what we do is if someone goes missing or someone gets reported as missing, we get called out to go search, and it's mainly in the Columbia Gorge, but it can be anywhere. And we hike and go off trail and try to find people that are missing.
First thing, I'm ASP president, so a lot of work that I do goes towards helping the school and making sure that the school is a safe and productive place. I'm also an NHS officer, so my job is to create a bunch of service projects and take a bunch of kids out into the community and do service work for other people. And then my last thing, I created an annual toy drive a couple years ago where around Christmas time, the softball team and I go out and we collect newly bought toys, and then we donate them to Randall Children's Hospital so children can wake up with toys next to their bed.
I've done a lot of volunteer work and service work through my church, but the thing that was the most consistent is that once a month a group of kids from my youth group and I would cook a meal for Outside In, which is a homeless shelter for teenagers, and we would cook a meal and then we would take it down, and it was just really cool that we got to give them food.
I am involved in Friends of the Children. It's a nonprofit organization that helps kids that are in generational poverty to know that they have a future in life. And basically you get partnered with a friend from kindergarten all the way to senior year, and they help you graduate and stay away from drugs and stay away from teen pregnancy.
So I'm involved in Teen Advisory Board. I'm one of the head leaders there as one of the seniors there. Essentially what we do is we go into the community trying to give resources to kids to become more knowledgeable about specific issues regarding alcohol abuse, substance abuse, and mental health. And one of the things I got to do is just be one of the organizers. I got to get involved with just kids and teaching them about topics, going to specific seminars and learning about things. Just sitting down and talking with Pam Pierce, who's one of the people who helped run it, and it's just been a really successful year so far, and I think that TAB's got a lot more room to grow.
And I hosted ReDefined, which was a mental health awareness event at Challgren High School in the fall, where people could bring art and music to an event and share their own experiences with mental health and their struggles with it outside of like a classroom setting that was less about statistics and like symptoms and more about shared experience and story. We got to bring over 100 strangers together, and they got to share some of the most like intimate and painful details of their own experiences in a really supportive, intimate community through a different lens than people had been used to talking about it, specifically through like art, music, and poetry.
So I've been a Girl Scout for 13 years. I started in kindergarten and just recently finished in my senior year of high school. I've done 3 big community service projects throughout middle school and high school, both with my Girl Scout troop and alone. And I've also volunteered for a number of kids camps and events with younger Girl Scouts throughout like middle school and high school.
Wales Lacrosse is a lacrosse team / organization that comes together one team at a time to raise money for a specific charity or a specific person to give money to a charity of their choice. It was started my freshman year. I started it. I just wanted a team that was all about having fun, giving back, and it's really grown. We've now had 13 teams. We've had girls teams, we've had guys teams all across the age range, and it's really been a great experience, and a lot of people would say that's the best team they've ever played for and the most fun, just because it was all about giving back, and it wasn't like super stressful and like demanding team to play for.
For the second part of the video, I asked, what inspired you to get involved, and what's the beauty behind the work you do?
I enjoy serving with the little kids because it's nice to spend time with small kids because they're so fun and innocent, and it just reminds me to live every day like a little kid. I just really like that.
I'm inspired to participate in this kind of work because this cause is something that means a lot to me. I really am passionate about making my school a better, more inclusive place for all students. So this is incredibly rewarding, and the beauty in the work is seeing, just in 2 years of working with this club, is seeing the progress we've made in the change of attitude in our school community and the more positive experiences students are able to have.
What I love most about Youthline and what I find beautiful and what keeps me coming back is truly the genuine interactions I get to have with people who are just struggling and in this intense, dark, vulnerable stage, and just helping people work through that in a really hard part of their life is hard, but I think it's beautiful. People will reach out months after saying, you saved my life and now my life is incredible and I'm able to do all these things, and just knowing that we're having this positive impact on people's lives.
I think what's beautiful about volunteering and why I do it is just being able to see the joy that you can bring to others. You don't always realize it when you're volunteering, I think, and that's when like the beauty comes in later, is when you actually get to see the effects that your volunteering has on others. Leading worship is one of my favorite things in the world because I love looking out and seeing people feel moved by the music and by the song and being able to worship God. And that's just one of the coolest things, is when you see your volunteer work kind of pay off for other people. And I think helping people is one of the many beauties in life.
The reason I help so much, obviously, is because of my little brother having autism, but a lot of it does go beyond that, because I've seen him grow up, and for most of my life I never really thought of him as different. I just thought of him as my brother. Looking at him now, he has grown so much from when he first got diagnosed with autism. I've also met a lot of kids in the past that aren't the same way, that haven't gotten the same help that Connor got through Autism Speaks. And the reason I'm so passionate about it is because I think that every autistic child can give something to the world. Everyone can make an impact, and Autism Speaks in a lot of ways helps those kids. And it's really important to me that everyone else gets the same opportunity. And to see people grow, see people change through what this company and what I have done for it is really beautiful.
The first thing that really inspired me was my friend Liz Laferno got diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma when she was 15. It was September of 2015. And it was really detrimental to a lot of people, I think. I've never had someone so young with cancer, and to see she was gonna make it and everything was gonna be fine. It was such a hard cancer and such a threatening cancer. It was really hard to see. This year I was a candidate, and it really inspired me, but I don't really like to help people necessarily hands-on. I kind of like to do the background work, and I think that's really beautiful, because I think everybody's so worried about, oh, everybody's looking at what I'm doing, and they're trying to do all this hands-on work, but I think there's beauty in doing what you can for other people, and you don't have to brag about it or show everyone you're doing it, but just to show that you care.
I love Search and Rescue just because of kind of like the unity that I see within all the members of Search and Rescue. We work together for hundreds of hours a year, and we go through so much together, and we spend long nights together, and just seeing how everyone is able to work together and motivate each other to perform one mission and search for that person we're searching for and finding them. I think it's just like beautiful to see how everyone works together and the teamwork that happens.
So the main reason that I do this is because the outcome is always a really good feeling, and that you made someone else's life better or easier.
Our group was inspired because we are teenagers, and we knew that there was a need to help feed other teenagers that were on the streets. And we had been cooking for a homeless shelter pretty much the entire time that I've been in youth group, but we recently switched over to doing the one through Outside In because we wanted to help other kids that were our age. And I think that that's really beautiful, because we're so fortunate and we don't realize that there's kids in our own community that don't have food and don't have shelter and a place to sleep at night, and just being able to give back to them directly is really cool.
My dad has been involved with Friends of the Children for the past 4 years, and I actually became a peer tutor there, and I tutor a little girl named Minnie, and it is the most beautiful organization, seeing kids know that they have a future in life rather than sitting at home watching who knows what their parents are doing in front of them, and for them to know that they can go to college and have a future is exciting.
Just knowing those people really wanted to motivate me to be like, how can I help kids avoid that same path? How can I help kids who are in high school who should be focusing on school and focusing on the next part of their life? What opportunities can I give them so that they don't have to go to rehab as a 16, 17-year-old, which is crazy to think. And for me, meeting someone like Pam Pierce was what really just taught me, like, wow, there are people who are passionate about it. That makes me want to join the same team. Really awesome. And frankly beautiful about TAB is the kind of relationships you get to build and the kind of interactions you get to have. It's just some of the most interesting people, and some of my best friendships come out of that organization, meeting those kind of people. So.
My own experience with mental illness and several of my friends' shared experiences inspired me to create an event, and I thought it was really beautiful that everyone got to be so connected and to feel really like true community that was authentically supportive and wanting to make a change in how mental health awareness is spoken about.
It wasn't my choice to get involved with Girl Scouts at first, since I started when I was in kindergarten, but it was definitely my choice to stay over the years, since I did stay till senior year. And I think what made me want to stay was the volunteer opportunities that I got and feeling like I was making a difference in my community. I'm really grateful to Girl Scouts for giving me those opportunities.
The inspiration behind Wales was I just wanted a team to have fun on. I'd been on other teams that were competitive and just none of them were what I was really looking for in a team. They're all about going Division 1, being really competitive, and that just wasn't what I was looking for. And after getting a couple guys together and having a team for the first tournament, one of the kids on the teams, his mom is a stage 4 breast cancer survivor, and she was the real inspiration behind all of the money that we've raised over the last 4 years, and it's been over $100,000, which has been amazing.
I learned that true beauty is within and shines most when we help those around us. Service is beautiful because of the genuine interactions made, the work that goes behind it. It brings the community together, puts a smile on someone's face, and could potentially save someone's life.